Welcome back. Another video, and in this video, we are going to see about autopsy features of starvation, the external findings, and the internal findings, and what are the possible changes between the viscera we are going to discuss, and followed by medical legal importance of starvation. And before commenting opinion relating to death as a starvation, what are the things we need to do and what are the disease conditions we need to exclude before arriving at a opinion of starvation has been discussed in detail. Slide number 2. Typical picture of emaciation and followed by exclusion of any other coexisting causes of death to be ruled out before making a definite diagnosis of a starvation death. And the main autopsy finding will be of emaciation with the loss of body weight and weights of the organ. And here emaciation, there is a possibility where it can also occur not only by starvation when an individual suffers due to any malignant disorders or sort of progressive muscular atrophy or any metabolic disorders or otherwise tuberculosis, where the individual may show features of emaciation. So that's why the point here, we need to exclude other coexisting causes of death either due to starvation or any other factors to be excluded. Then we can make a definitive diagnosis of starvation. And these are the pictures where completely emaciated the deceased body, and when you compare the trunk region to the head region, and here head appears deceptively larger than the trunk, and eyes are shrunken, and there been a loss of orbital pad of fat, and followed by, and when you look on the cheekbones, it appears to be relatively prominent, and there is a loss of fat, and the lines of jaws are obviously seen. And here prominence of rib cages will also be an associated feature, and the extreme prominence of rib cage is seen, and these are the external features, and followed by areas where image on your left side, where you can see a completely emaciated female sex, where most of the bony prominence are prominent, and you don't see in a normal individual where there will be adequate muscle mass will be present, and there won't be any disappearance of the subcutaneous layers of fat. And when you take the image on your the right top region, where the supraclavicular fossa, and those are appearing concave and appear to be prominent, and same such feature, prominence of rib cage is also present. And in internal finding, the extreme emaciation and followed by there is a general reduction in the size and weight of the almost all organs except the brain. In brain may show features of paleness and extreme softness. And when you take infants, a complete atrophy of a thymus gland is a pathognomonic of a starvation. And in heart, there will be features of brown atrophy and followed by the chambers appears to be chambers are empty. And other internal finding which is more significant towards starvation is the gallbladder is distended, where food acts as a natural stimulant for excretion of bile. So there is no food, there is less intake or no intake of food, so gallbladder appears to be distended. And when you take on gut and other intestinal GI tracts, where gut appears empty and filled with gases, the wall are contracted and appears translucent. And in extreme cases, there may be presence of fecolith, and presence of fecolith may ulcerate the intestinal linings. And when you take bones, they show extreme demineralization, and they are prone for pathological fractures. And when you take children, skeletons show increased spinal curvature and features of rickets, and even dental defects will also be present. Their extreme demineralization can result in osteomalacia, where a minimal force can result in a maximum injury, or it can even result in a maximum extreme degree of fracture. And due to brittleness of the bone, where even stretch fractures also can be present. And features of edema, peritoneal effusions can also be seen. And when you take liver, there will be presence of central lobar necrosis, and due to protein deficiency. And on cut section of kidney, atrophy of nephrons is also demonstrable. And when you take the image, what you see on the left side is a normal heart, where the image which you see on right side, it is a feature of a starvated heart. And here you can able to see epicardial fat in abundant quantity, where it has in case of starvation death, where the epicardial fat has been degenerated into a gelatinous mass as a uniform mass. And in some areas where the organs may show multiple necrotic areas may be found in multiple organs, and again it is not a pathognomic feature of a starvation. And when you take females, preorbital area followed by female breast will be devoid of fat masses. And slide number 9, and here these are the typical autopsy findings in starvation. First is emaciation, shrunken eyes, and loss of white fat, and complete disappearance of body fat with pronounced rib cage or prominent rib cage, loss of adipose tissue of the mesentery, diffuse atrophy of GIT with a translucent small intestinal walls, and if there been a presence of E. coli, and it can result in ulcerations on the intestinal wall. And distended gallbladder, again with same point, gallbladder appears distended because food acts as a natural stimulant for bile excretion. So there is no food, the bile stays within the gallbladder. So that is the reason begin for a distended gallbladder. And before making these are the features of starvation. And before making an opinion, final opinion towards starvation, histological survey is essential to to confirm or otherwise to rule out any other causes for loss of weight, otherwise emaciation, right? So, histological surveys. It means that we need to treat the disease as an histopathological or an histopathological autopsy. It means that samples from most of the solid viscera to be harvested and to be preserved, and it should be subjected for a histopathological examination. And we need to rule out malignant diseases and progressive muscular atrophy, Addison's disease, diabetes mellitus, and features of tuberculosis also to be ruled out before making a opinion of starvation. And features of neglect will be present associated with, right? And those will be the features. And this slide is more important, right? Without doing an histopathological survey, we can't make a opinion about starvation. And in medical importance towards starvation, we are going to discuss about, can a starvation be suicidal, homicidal, or accidental, or intentional otherwise, and who are the most common victims. From the previous videos, we have discussed some causes, etiological agents, and with the presence of these etiological agents, what could be the manner of death, and what does the Article 21 suggest, and what are the other significance towards the starvations have been discussed. And here, starvation may manifest as a self-neglect or may be an act of a criminal act. And self-neglect, again, when an individual suffers from any major depressive disorders or otherwise, where or act of a criminal act where intentional starvation has been done. And here the victims are infants, children, and older people. And in older people, when an older person suffers from any disease condition where their dear ones make him intentionally starving for food and other essential things. And here starvation may be homicidal, starvation may be accidental, starvation may be suicidal. And here starvation may be homicidal. First we discuss this one. Here again victims are elderly groups and victims of ages where adult, older persons, or otherwise infants and children. And when they've been born of an illegitimacy or otherwise of an unhappy married life, then they can go for an intentional starvation, and whereby it is a homicidal in nature. And in accidental, when an individual been trapped within the mines or otherwise due to a famine or due to any natural calamity, individual has been trapped, decreased source of food or total loss of food, and starvation death may be accidental. And starvation death may be also suicidal, where as a sign of protest or a form of a hunger strike, and individual refuse feed for a longer time, then starvation may be also suicidal. Medical professional versus hunger strike, and there have been a dilemma between situations where it is a moral duty of a healthcare professional to exercise his skill and save the life of a patient. On another hand, we also need to respect the patient's autonomy, and without the consent of a patient, we can't feed him, or otherwise we can't treat him. And here, not towards feeding. For example, individual being in state of hypoglycemia and he refused treatment. Medical professionals stands in between whether either he need to oblige to his moral duty of saving patient, or otherwise whether he need to respect the patient's autonomy. And here where a clear instruction is uh, can't be made and purely towards medical professional and or towards the RMP to decide. And for example, if there been a breach in patient's autonomy where problem rises and clear instructions to be given, and if an individual has given a clear instruction not to treat him against his wishes, right? And purely dilemma, and it is up to the registered medical practitioner to decide. And other slide, forceful feeding of a person who is on hunger strike. And in India, where an imminent danger is being present to the life of a person as a result of deliberate starvation, such persons can be taken into custody by the state for an forceful feeding and to save the life of the individual. Where forceful feeding is won't be an offense in India. And what is the exact criteria when an individual to be forcefully fed? And here, when there have been a features of loss of weight and there have been a biochemical abnormality in form of where it show features of acidosis associated with ketone bodies in urine, and these are the features where an individual need an immediate life-saving measure by advising forceful feeding to the person. And here, according to World Medical Association (WMA), a declaration of hunger strike has been made on 1991. It states that ultimate decision on intervention or non-intervention should be left with an individual doctor. And here, hunger striker is a mentally competent person who has indicated that he has decided to embark on a hunger strike and has refused to take a fluid uh, food for a significant interval. And purely debatable again, and but in India, forceful feeding of a person can be taken, and these are the criteria when individual shows one of these features or all of these features, where a doctor should intervene and the individual to be forcefully fed. And coming to slide number 50, and previous slide it was about hunger striker and a medical professional, followed by what is the criteria for forceful feeding. And here the situation is a prisoner who is on hunger strike against the state, right? Against the state, and what should be the plan of action by the medical practitioner. And here, in the view of law, forceful feeding of a prisoner against their wishes is not an assault but quite lawful. It means that the state is responsible for the life of the prisoner and he is under the care of a state, and the state must make adequate measures to prevent the prisoner from injuring himself or taking of his own life. So here in case an RMP has been asked to intervene, and this act won't be considered as an assault, and this act is quite lawful, so we can do a forceful feeding and individual can be saved. And coming to slide number 16, where homicidal starvation can occur in a illegitimate children or otherwise an unwanted baby or a child of an unhappy married life is most prone for an starvation and associated with features of flattered baby syndrome, where individual been on features of repeated assault by the guardian or by the parents themselves, and he has gone for a period of starvation, and when the individual has been taken into a part of the routine examination or where they give a history, and usually it will be conflicting with the presentations of the injuries on the body, and the age of injury differs from one to another in a longer period, and the history provided it won't be um, in detail or otherwise it doesn't fit into the injuries caused on the child. And when there been a homicidal starvation where the parent or the guardian or whoever in care of a children can be punished under section 317 IPC for an exposure for dealing with an exposure and otherwise and abandonment of a child under age of 12 years. They can face a charge under 317 IPC. In highly pathetic situation where can able to see a where children doesn't make an eye-to-eye contact and they usually non-cooperative, and they show a state of a fearful, and whenever a question has been thrown and they want to open even, and they look at the guardians, and this will be the typical features of a battered baby syndrome. And in extreme cases where starvation death can also occur. And by the constitution constitution article number 21 deals with the citizens of India for their right to live and liberty, and food is a basic need to live a life, and thus in broader sense it is a responsibility of a state to provide a food for the inhabitants of the country. Summary of this presentation: typical autopsy features like emaciation followed by distended gallbladder, signs of neglect on the external as well as the internal, and in case of an homicidal starvation, multiple injuries on the children or in old people by doing a meticulous search on external examination and followed by suspected area to be dissected, and if there been a features of antemortem injuries, then homicidal starvation can also be made. And before making into a opinion about starvation as a final opinion, we need to rule out other causes for emaciation like malignancy, tuberculosis, Addison's, diabetes mellitus, progressive muscular atrophies. These conditions to be ruled out, and these are the other causes for emaciation, those to be ruled out. And the starvation can't be an instant opinion like other cause of deaths, where histopathological survey is must. Suspected organs or the most common visceral organs to be subjected for histopathological survey, and if the report suggestive of negative, nothing significant, and then a final opinion relating to starvation can be made. And coming to medical legal importance towards forceful feeding, and in India, forceful feeding is not considered as an assault, and when the individual present with features of acidosis, ketone bodies in urine, and where forceful feeding can be taken, and if it been in case of a prisoner, and again it is not considered as an assault, it is the right of an state to save the life of the individual. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Any doubts, query, either you can mention those in the comment section below or address through any of the social media links provided in description section. Thank you.